without cause. Roberts has now halted the lower court decision.
Repeated social media attacks against the longtime advice columnist after she accused him of sexual assault.
This is the Bull Session, a weekly recap of your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Penn Community Bank, Chickies and Pete's, and the Capitol Grill Center City. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games for the Fightin' Phils, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. What's up, Tommy?
How you doing, pal? You're traveling Wilbury.
Yeah.
Yes, you
well,
are.
I think two of us been traveling, right?
Yeah.
One was in Milwaukee and Miami, our guest,
Yeah.
Scott Franzke. How are you, Scott?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Just like you, I've been kind of on a traveling bend.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, yeah.
That's who you are.
But how about this? I walk in here. Well, I think we all walked in here, and same thing happened. I hear this, hey, Brazer. I'm like, there's only one person that has that, hey, Brazer. Charlie Manuel.
Charlie
We
Manuel.
walk in here. It was great to see Charlie and Missy.
Yep.
And it was great to see that he's alive because I didn't know this because,
Yes.
again, my cell phone service wasn't very good in Montana. So I wasn't, and I wasn't looking at Facebook and X and all that. But Missy was telling me that there was this big rumor over the weekend that Charlie had passed away, and Missy's getting texts that are saying, oh, my God, I'm so sorry to hear the news. Thoughts and prayers are with you. And Missy's looking right at Charlie. He looks alive to me, right?
He looks pretty good for dead.
Right. He looks really good for dead.
Yes, he does.
Right? But it was great to see Charlie as always. So, all right. Scott Franzke is our guest today. And Scott, would really appreciate it if you're in the South Philly area. Please come by and stop in and say hi. But let's talk about, we'll get into your career, but let's talk about the team. You just got off the road trip, and it was a successful road trip, other than, obviously, an injury, which hopefully will be mild, because obviously it's a key to Trey Turner. But talk about the road trip. Milwaukee, obviously, you guys had it was almost like a playoff atmosphere, right?
It was great. It was a good trip. I mean, you go to Milwaukee, you face a club that you might have to go through to get to where you want to go in October. And you played them really well. I know the Brewers had taken all three here in South Philly, but to go up there and to go on the road, and it wasn't great situation for the Phillies having to play Sunday night at home and travel and turn around real quick and play the game sort of early on Monday.
And then a day off Tuesday.
On
was
Labor Day.
Weird schedule.
Yeah,
there.
That was
schedule.
a weird schedule.
But just to get through that game, getting down 4-0. Early and to come back and rally and end up winning it 10-8. That was a big game.
Yeah,
that was
And
huge.
that
That's
was
a huge
seesawing.
win right
And that was
there.
seesawing all
win.
game.
Yeah.
Right.
And even just to put up 10 runs against a club like that, that says a lot. They were fighting the whole day, and it was good to see. Obviously Nola had his struggles to start the second game. Pitched well after a tough start. Phillies tried to come back in that one, got close, but couldn't get over the hump. And then the great pitcher's duel on Thursday to finish it out.
Yeah.
And Ranger just looks amazing right now. And then you go to Miami, and it's funny, when they went to Miami in June, it was right ahead of meeting the Mets here in Philadelphia, the way the schedule worked out. And I remember going there at the time, and the Phillies were about 4 or 5 games out at the time, and they had to play a 4-game set down there. And the idea was, look, sometimes you got to make your own energy, especially during the week. Monday through Thursday weren't going to be big crowds, and they came to play. They took 3 out of 4 then, and this weekend they take 2 out of 3. Not looking past a club like the Marlins,
Who have good young players.
They have good young players. They haven't played as well over the last month. They've had some injuries that have been a big problem for them. But to come back and take 2 out of 3 and to play well, all in all, not overlook them. Get ready for the Mets series. I thought it was a good trip all in all. Obviously, the big black cloud is the Turner thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything. We won't know anything probably today. He's getting his MRI, but hopefully everything is fine. Just because, man, you already knocked out Wheeler. So
Yeah. I'd be pretty shocked if he didn't go on the 10-day IL right away.
Yeah.
I would too with that.
Right. Especially now that we have a cushion.
Right.
Now again, that could change in this 4 games against the Mets.
Well,
but
game 1 is the huge game.
Yeah, we got a cushion.
You win today, it's a good day.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this team because again, the starting pitching's been. It's almost like when Wheeler went out, for the most part. Man, I mean Suarez and Luzardo, and they've all just stepped up. They basically said it's almost like they said, Zach, we have your back. We're gonna carry it, right?
Yeah. The big one was Ranger. I mean, the way Ranger has turned around. I mean, and it was a real kind of line in the sand for him, I think. And he talked about it that first start after Wheeler went down, and how he was driving to the ballpark that day and thinking to himself, well, it's time for me. I need to step up. And there's a lot going on for Ranger, obviously, with the contract, year. He hadn't been performing well for a few weeks, and his command has been unbelievable lately.
That's the key to it.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not a guy that has to pitch with a lot of velo because he knows how to pitch. He knows how to change speeds. He knows how to move the ball in and out and up and down. And as long as his command allows him to do that, which it has over the last 4 starts, he's as good as anybody in the game. As far as, the guy who's a left-hander, he's very different than the other 2 lefties.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's every bit as good.
Have you seen an uptick with the? I mean, you start looking at somebody stepping up, like Brazer was saying, the pitching staff. But how about the overall team aspect first?
Yeah.
I mean, the little things, because it's a team. We have to do that when you start missing some guys. Everybody's got to sort of step up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten by the last 2 weeks largely without a huge contribution from Kyle.
Yeah.
Without a huge contribution from Bryce. It's not that he's not contributing, but he hasn't sort of put the team on his back kind of thing. It's been a little more of a group effort. Guys,
season, lineup.
Harrison Bader's been a big pickup. Max Kepler has turned things around. Bryson Stott has been huge for the club. What he's done with that mechanical adjustment in his swing.
And Marsh.
And Marsh has been almost
The bottom of the
automatic.
lineup, that's what I noticed, is the little things starting to happen with those guys, and they're taking some of the heat off those guys.
Absolutely.
Up top, man. It's a huge thing when that starts happening.
Absolutely, because Kyle's going to work his way out of it. It's going to come.
Oh.
And we've seen over the last few years when he gets hot, he gets real hot.
Bunches.
It'll come in waves, and when it comes back around, it'd be nice to have those other guys going as well.
I love Harrison Bader. Has that energy. It looks like they call him Baby Dutch, right?
With the hair.
I mean, he looks like he should be on.
That's some big shoes for him to feel right there. Be careful.
He looks like he'd fit right in with the Tommy's 1993 team.
Yeah, he's got the hair.
But he's just got that energy, and obviously not just energy, but he makes some unbelievable catches in the outfield.
Yeah.
Right? He's been a spark plug. He had some huge hits in the Milwaukee series.
Right.
And it's almost that I know Nick wasn't very happy when there was some platoon, and Kepler wasn't very happy when there was platoon. But I think hopefully they've all accepted their roles now, and it looks like Thompson's kind of settled into a, verse right-handed lineup and a verse left-handed lineup.
Right. Without a doubt. And the key to doing that has been the emergence of Bader. The fact that you can have Harrison Bader face righties and lefties, his splits are pretty even against both.
Yeah.
And to have him play the defense he's playing and have him in the lineup in center field every day. And they gave him a day off yesterday. They want to kind of get him off the turf. He's been playing a lot. But I think the fact that any championship team, you want to be, the old adage, you want to be strong up the middle.
Yep.
And
No
what
question.
they've been able to do with JT, with Stott and Turner, and then to plug Harrison in there, and it really makes it easier on the manager to decide, hey, okay, I got my center fielder, he's going to stay put. Before it was, maybe
Right.
Marsh is in
Rojas.
center one day, Rojas
I
another
tell you
day,
what, there's nothing
moving guys
like-
around.
There's nothing like looking back on the mound, you turn around, you see that guy out there.
Sure.
You know when it goes in the air, it's pretty much going to get caught.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good feeling.
And, I mean, again, I think Marsh is a better left fielder than he is a center fielder. I think Kepler's a better right fielder than he is a left fielder. He's pretty good in left, but he's a better right fielder.
Right.
And for whatever reason, he talked about it the other night. He's not sure exactly why, but if you look at the numbers, the days he's played right field, his numbers are way better at the plate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a a mental
comfort thing,
a
right?
comfort
Yeah.
thing, right? Whatever the case might be.
Great matter.
It may be that he's just playing right more often now as he's gotten hot, but I do think they've found a little bit of a rhythm, and Kepler got all those guys together the other day in Miami, all 5 of them. Nick and Brandon and Harrison and Weston Wilson even, and he talked about it after the game, just the idea that we're all on the same page, and we're all here at this time of the year. We're all here we can swallow our ego, we can swallow our pride. We're going to do what we're asked to do, and on the days we're not in the lineup, we're going to come with some energy. We're going to come with some positive energy to support our teammates, and it sounds like everybody's bought in.
Really good to hear right there.
Yeah,
it really is.
Because he said, look, it's not everybody wants to play every day.
Yeah,
sure,
nothing
everybody
wrong with
wants
that.
to, and there's nothing wrong with that, but everybody can't play every day.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is to understand that on the days you're not playing, there's still things you can do to contribute to make the Phillies a better team, even when you're on the bench or getting ready for a possible pinch hit or whatever the case might be, just boosting the other guys around you from a mental standpoint. So I thought it was really, really cool to see, and it was a real sign of leadership from Max to sort of bring everybody together and initiate that conversation.
And you have to give kudos to Dave Dombrowski because, what did everyone talk about in May, June, July is that the outfield, what are the Phillies going to do with their outfield? They can't win with this outfield. They have the worst WAR, as left field, right field, center field, whatever. And then you heard about the bullpen. Well, all of a sudden you get Bader, and all of a sudden that, because he can play center field, defensively he's got the energy, and as you just said, it allows him to do a lot of different things. And then you bring in Duran as your closer, and then that allows other guys
huge.
like Strom and Kerkering
Sure.
to kind of play a role where it's not as high pressure, but they have everyone kind of now has roles.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good trade deadline by Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah, I think it's
When's
worked out pretty good.
When's the last time you seen the bullpen down there have sort of like roles?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while.
Right.
And
there's some guys that are,
taking
taken to it. They're pitching well. Strom, I think, has pitched a lot better
Yeah.
the second half of the season. Kerkering's had his ups and downs, but the fact that you have David Robertson eases the pressure on
He's
our
been a
guys.
great revelation. I think anybody in Philadelphia, when we signed him, I know obviously there was tons of teams that were looking at him that wanted to sign him, and he signed with us. But I think if you had asked any fan before that, what does that move? He's 40 years old.
Sure.
And I tell you what,
pitch,
he has exceeded everybody's expectations. Maybe not his own, because obviously he has high standards for himself.
Right.
But, man, he's been really good in that back end of the bullpen.
He really has, and you always know, given his level of experience, he's not going to scare.
No.
You can put him in any situation, any spot. He's shown to be, he's bouncing back pretty well. He's really spry. He's been a good a guy to have around. I think he's really helped stabilize things out there. Maybe for some of the younger pitchers, he's somebody that they can look up to.
I was thinking Kerkering would have been a huge, you have a huge influence with him.
Absolutely.
But the bullpen position is so volatile. I mean, look at the Mets. So the Phillies were, and a lot of teams were looking at Ryan Helsley. Now, Ryan Helsley is last year of his contract. So he'd be cheaper, be a rental, right? You wouldn't have to give up as much. You wouldn't have to give up a Tait and give up, what we gave up, and Mick Abel. But you just never know how someone's going to click. Duran's obviously clicked, and it's been just a volt of energy with his whole, this whole
I tell you what,
production, which is unbelievable.
That's great for the social media aspect of it. He's exactly what we needed down there.
Right. Well, then picture that. What if we went the other way? What if all of a sudden we traded, I don't know, we gave up some lesser-known one player for Ryan Helsley, and then Ryan Helsley comes in, and I don't know if it's a New York thing, whether that would be any different here.
Right.
But, man, he gave up 3 home runs in 4 months with St. Louis, and he's already given up 5 or 6 home runs in the short span since the
Stay
trade
hot.
deadline.
Stay hot.
He's had a rough go.
Right. Which I'm not complaining.
Hey, we all do, but
we've talked about it. I remember last week we were talking about it, Tom McCarthy and I, and we were like, man, could you imagine if he had come here?
Right.
If you had made that deal
Which
for him?
Which easily could have happened.
Could have happened. He was certainly one of the names being talked about, for sure.
All right. Coming up on the show, Scott, we talked about a little bit Trey Turner, where obviously nobody knows anything about the injury, but I want to get your take on how that affects, let's say if it's just for 10 days, how it's going to affect in the short term the batting order, who plays shortstop, obviously Sosa, but we had with Turner as your leadoff hitter, that kind of solved one big thing that Rob Thompson dealt with.
Right.
So now is Schwarber going to be the leadoff? Are we going to start? Are you going to maybe toy with maybe having JT? We'll get Scott's opinion on that. You're listening to the Bull Session, presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Come and enjoy one of your seasonal favorites from our new Summer of Shellfish menu, including our flavorful garlic and herb, roasted shrimp and lobster, tasty crabby tuna and poke tacos, or our incredible seafood boil featuring crab legs, scrumptious shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. And try one of our delicious seasonal cocktails with your meal. The Summer of Shellfish, only at Chickies and Pete's.
Hey, BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at Hey, BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC. Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping community.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
We are back at the Bull Session, presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene and Scott Franzke. All right, Scott, as we left off.
I want to ask, I asked everybody, what about his title? What do you think about that guy? Director of Fun and Games.
Well, Does
it fit?
Oh, yeah, it fits. It fits. It definitely fits. I can't imagine what else he could possibly direct.
Exactly. That's a good point. My wife would agree with you, too. After spending 4 days in Montana with me, she would definitely know that or think that way as well. All right, so Scott, we talked about, that we should be fine as far as the good news is we have one of the best bench guys. If Trey has to be out short term, hopefully not long term, but short term, with Sosa, who's just talk about an energy guy, talk about a popular guy in the clubhouse. The guy can do everything, and he steps up to the occasion. But it's a little different when you have to start play every day. Will Sosa, you think, get the majority of shortstop?
I would think so. I would think he would. Now, it obviously changes your lineup,
right?
The batting order a lot. Sosa, he has limitations against right-handed pitching. There's no doubt about that. But against lefties, he's been an automatic guy to put in the lineup against the lefty. They've done a ton of that this year, especially in the second half. He's automatically playing second base against lefties. I think anytime you lose, I go back to those days when Jimmy was here, and there was always that constant thought of, well, who's the backup, right? And you spend a lot of time talking about it in spring training because you're talking about the last one or two roster spots and who you're going to hold on to. And the primary thought was, when you have a guy like Jimmy go down, let's say it's 14 days, 3 weeks or whatever, the primary thing you want at that position is somebody who's going to catch the ball.
Catch the ball, yeah.
Especially with the pitching staff they have. I mean, they're going to get a lot of ground balls. I mean, Christopher Sanchez, he needs a shortstop who's going to pick the ball. And so I think that's why Edmundo becomes, a number one in that role. Now, again, how that shakes out the lineup.
Well, I mean, who else could be? I mean, they could bring up Otto Kemp, I guess. They could.
Yeah, and
you're not going to shuffle Stott over to short.
I don't think they would do that. I mean, he could play short, for sure.
Right. He came up as a shortstop.
You could do that and have somebody else play second. I mean, they have some other guys, some candidates that can play second between Weston Wilson. I mean, Weston Wilson can play shortstop.
Right.
He's played a lot of shortstop in the minors. But, again, I think Edmundo is your best defensive shortstop. Going into the year, he might have been your best defensive shortstop, period.
Right.
Obviously, Trey's played much better defensively this year. He's made huge improvements. But Edmundo is the guy, I think, that'll play most every day at short.
And we don't have anybody, I mean, Otto Kemp, but my guess is if he does go on the 10-day IL, that Otto would be the first one coming up, you think? Or would it be someone who's a pure short? Like, who is the pure shortstop down there? Do they have a
Great question.
AAA?
Great question.
Yeah.
The guy everybody wants to see right now is Aiden Miller.
Who just got called up, by the way.
And coming off a huge, huge month.
Right. But that would be pretty.
I think that would be I think the only way, if they came out today and said, he tore his hamstring and he's out for the year.
Right.
That'd be the only way I could think they would consider anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
If they do feel like it's a 2-week thing or 4-week thing, which it could be.
Yeah.
Last year was 6 weeks.
All right, let's talk about the race here. So we have, obviously, the next tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Mets, huge series. Coming off 2 weeks ago, we got swept by the Mets. So there's always bad blood. You're going to have the obnoxious New York fans. There are probably some in here right now. Coming down and trying to take over the stadium like they did in 2007 with Jose, Reyes, and all that. It's going to be a fun 4-game series. And we have the pitching lined up, right? We got Nola, we got Sanchez.
And the 3 lefties.
Yep, 3 lefties. Yeah. So, I think they're going to probably start 2 rookies. I think it's the 2 rookies plus Peterson.
Well, they got McLean tonight.
Yeah.
Mania tomorrow.
He's pretty decent. I mean, he's done right. McLean, he's come up.
McLean's been amazing. Tonight will be the first time that a team faces McLean for the second time.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how that
happens. Yeah.
He dominated the Phillies. I mean, he was really, really good. He is really impressive. He's as impressive a young pitcher. I mean, this side of Paul Skeens to come to the big leagues in the last few years that I've seen.
Yeah.
He was really, really good that night. He's had some other starts where he's been a little more erratic with his command.
Right.
Who knows what tonight will bring? Different environment, a hostile environment for him.
It's be a playoff atmosphere.
And that could play a part. I don't know. Maybe he'll rise above it. I don't know. The Mets are obviously asking a lot of their young starters. But they'll only see McLean as far as the rookies in the series. It's Mania, Holmes, Clay Holmes, and then Peterson.
On Thursday.
So
McLean's a North Carolina boy, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he?
You might be right. Yeah,
I think he is.
Yeah.
But so if we split the first 2 games, right, it'll be 17 games left with a 7-game lead.
Yep.
And that sounds kind of, hopefully that's
I can't get nobody to say just win tonight, take care of tonight. They're always looking to
win tonight.
I'm making a point because, Tommy, back in 2007, we were down 7 games, 17 games left.
I know.
And
see, why bring the mojo, dude?
There's all those ways to look at it. And, it's a fun exercise with the numbers, right?
Yes.
If the Phillies go, I think I wrote it down yesterday, if the Phillies had gone with their last 20 games, if they go 10-10.
Right. They'd have to go 17-3.
Mets have to go 17-3.
Right.
Right, that's a fun exercise with the numbers.
Yeah.
But the Phillies as a ball club, that's for us.
And that just ties. That just ties. They have to go 18-2 to win.
No, but they have the tiebreaker.
Oh, right.
So they just have to finish in a tie.
And the way they're playing, they're not going 17-3.
I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think. Hey,
I mean,
again,
I'm not going down that road, Brazer.
I watched that guy Frank the Tank on video, and he wouldn't
thing
agree
is,
with that.
these are all things that are fun for us to sort of massage the numbers and talk about. But I do believe that the players in that clubhouse look at it the same way Tommy was talking about.
Yeah.
Let's win tonight.
Right.
And that's all they're thinking about.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about Mania tomorrow or Peterson or let's split or let's this, that, or the other. They're thinking about one thing, and that's McLean tonight.
McLean.
The guy
How do
they
we
have
get to this dude?
tonight.
Now McLean, I didn't watch that game. He was throwing. I know he struck out a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And
we were breaking stuff too.
And what's his strength?
He has 6 pitches, but he didn't need to use that arsenal against the Phillies that night. It was mostly fastball and sweeper. His breaking ball was really, really good. But his fastball command was tremendous. And that's where, for any pitcher, that's where it starts.
That's where Nola's,
on
that's
the
where
other
Nola's
side,
been scuffled.
Absolutely. Yeah? That's where it all begins and ends with Aaron Nola, because if he's on top of the baseball, if he's behind the baseball, if he's down in the zone at the knees, not at the thigh, not at the belt, but if he's down at the knees, it helps. First of all, he's getting strike one. He's getting ahead of hitters, and it helps everything else. It makes his curveball sharper. It dives more. His changeup is better. And he's fully aware of all these things. He knows all this, and that's his goal. If you talk to him, he says the right things. It's just a matter of, can he do it physically? Can he execute? So
I think you should just tell him that it's when he goes out for the first pitch, tell him it's the second inning. Somehow something happened and it's not the first inning.
I remember back in the day we had Atlanta. Look at Glavine back in the day. He couldn't get out of the first. I mean, that's when you got him. If you got to him, it was early.
And that's the way a lot of really good guys are. If you're going to get to him, you get to him early, and then they settle in. I mean, again, the start that he had in Milwaukee, take out the first 5 hitters. He goes 5 innings, gives up 1 run on 3 hits.
Right.
And if that was your playoff start, you would take that.
Run with it.
4 games out of 4, right?
Yeah.
You would, with your bullpen and your offense and all these other things. But you can't eliminate. You got to face all the hitters. And so those first 5 do matter. It's just like yesterday with Taiwan. He was terrific. Something, I don't know what, something looked like it was going on with Taiwan in that first inning.
He
had no idea where the ball was going.
Yeah, he's had a couple.
The last 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Had no idea where the ball was going, and then was much better after that.
Which we needed it too, because with a big 4-game series, we needed him to go 5 innings, right? Just to save the bullpen.
Yeah.
Now tell me, I mean, your thoughts on him, Walker.
Yeah.
Where I mean, obviously we've seen what happened in the previous 2 years and what's been going on.
Sure.
But to see, what's your thoughts on how it's gone this year? Because I know my thoughts on it. I couldn't be happier because he's done my thing is a pretty good job, and he's always been there for his teammates. It seemed like
he is, and I know there are starts this year where he's gone to the mound sick, but he's taken the ball, and I don't know that he's 100%. I don't know. He may be fine. He didn't look comfortable to me yesterday, but he looked like a guy who said, "Today's my day to start, and I'm taking the ball, and I'm going to get us through 6 innings," and he found a way to do that. He's gone back and forth between the bullpen and the starting rotation. He's always been the afterthought but as it turns out, he's been a mainstay. And the depths at which he's come from, I think, says a lot to his character and who he is. Where he was 2 years ago when he wasn't on the playoff roster or wasn't used, and he's a good teammate. He really
Great
is. He's
teammate.
a good teammate.
I mean, he says all the right
and,
things. He's does the right
he's
thing.
very well liked and well respected in that clubhouse.
Yep.
People want to see good things happen to him. We want to see good things happen to him because we know what kind of a good guy he is. And I asked him a while back about going back and forth from starting to relieving, and he said, after I did it, I think the second switch when he went back into the rotation, he never went back to preparing like he did as a starter, where he would do a bullpen, do your conditioning or whatever on certain days, and you'd have that 4-day break in between starts, and you'd have your schedule. He just started living life like he was still a reliever.
Huh.
Dude, I know exactly where that's what I sort of did back in the day.
Because
you
I may
prepare
go
yourself
back,
to pitch
right?
every day. You know?
I'm gonna prepare myself to pitch, and he said, it was working for me out of the pen. It was fine. I was, touching the baseball every day. I was doing some throwing, and I found that I didn't need to, unless I have something specific I need to get on the mound to work on, to do a full bullpen.
Yeah.
He's gonna just kind of I'm going to play catch every day and do my flat
There's
ground.
something to be said. There's something to be said about that. I mean, but obviously, I come from the Braves organization back in the day, and they believed the more time you spend off the mound as a starter, the more you repeat your mechanics and able to repeat your delivery. And when it come over, and I pitched in the pen here. That's the first time I ever pitched in the bullpen in my life, and it was in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to take care of yourself, how to prepare what gets you ready.
Right.
And it's not about taking an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. It's about, okay, I got to be ready to go. What do I need? How many pitches do I need? And stuff like that to get ready. And once I learned that, I started, when I got back into the rotation, it sort of morphed into, I didn't do the same routine I did before.
Right.
Type thing. I knew exactly where he comes from there. It's a good thing. You learn from it.
Let's go to break. But, Scott, when we come back, one name we haven't mentioned yet is Walker Buehler, because I think we're going to see Walker Buehler. You might hear Buehler.
Anyone?
Buehler. Anyone? We'll talk about Walker Buehler when we come back.
Talked about that.
We'll talk about Walker Buehler when we come back. You're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickens and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Come and enjoy one of your seasonal favorites from our new Summer of Shellfish menu, including our flavorful garlic and herb, roasted shrimp and lobster, tasty crabby tuna and poke tacos, or our incredible seafood boil featuring crab legs, scrumptious shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. And try one of our delicious seasonal cocktails with your meal. The Summer of Shellfish, only at Chickies and Pete's.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
We
Think
now
banking
return
hasn't
to
changed?
Chickies
Think
and
again.
Pete's
At
for
Penn
the
Community
Bull
Bank,
Session.
we've been
Once
helping
again,
communities
here are
thrive for
your hosts,
150
Phillies
years.
Director
From our
of Fun
national
and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined by co-host Tommy Greene, along with our guest Scott Franzke. All right, Scott, as we mentioned, there's 19 games left, right?
Yep.
We've got 4 against the Mets. Then we get 3 against the Royals. Then we go to LA for 3. Then we go to Arizona for 3. So you have a big West Coast trip coming up.
Yep.
And then we come back. We have the Marlins for 3, Twins for 3.
Yep.
Right?
Nothing like a battle with the Twins down the stretch to get everybody's juices flowing.
Well, and the Twins would have scared you a little bit.
Before they traded their whole team.
Before they traded away their whole team. And
basically.
now that we have their closer, we feel a little better on that.
Yeah.
You know, I guess they have Buxton as long as Buxton's still healthy, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a major league team, so they've got talent. But it's pretty 19. So it's 7-game lead, 19 games left. How are you feeling about the team right now and in general? And then we mentioned Walker Buehler, and Walker Buehler is going to pitch on Saturday, I believe, right? Friday. And we're going to be going into a 6-man rotation.
Well, that's the prevailing thought. I mean, when Dave announced it, it was he's going to start this Friday's game against the Royals, and after that, we'll see.
Okay.
It may come down to different matchups. It may come down to if there's particular pitchers they want to get extra rest. Right now, you're in a situation, if you had all 6 guys, you've got the 3 righties in a row, and then you have the 3 lefties in a row.
Right.
You might want to stagger that. At some point, hopefully, you've clinched, and you start lining things up and getting guys on the day you want them for October. So I do think, he'll start once. I would suspect he would start again at some point, but I don't know exactly that it'll be in the same order.
Do you know how he's been producing? I mean,
he threw the other night for Lehigh, through one appearance, through 3 innings. It was a lot of pitches, 78 pitches.
Yeah.
Gave up a home run to the first batter, but then he settled down, right?
Settled down. He had some walks, and there was some error. There was an error behind him that led to to an unearned run, I believe. Rob Thompson said he watched the whole thing. He said he was pretty good. I guess Walker has been talking a lot with Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach, about, and he's trying to find something a feeling that he has had in the past with his fastball. And I guess they've talked about it, but it's really about fastball command.
Yes, sir.
And he's trying to find that again, and I think what he's been doing is trying to tap into Caleb, drills, routines, whatever, to get me back to feeling a certain way.
Have they worked together before?
They have not, but they have some connection. They both were Vanderbilt guys.
Okay.
So they kind of come from that universe. And as Dave Dombrowski said, they kind of speak their own language.
Right.
Those folks. And so they connected right away on that. And that may have been part of the reason why he chose the Phillies over some other suitors and options. But I think it's a great move. It may not work out for anything. It may not turn into a big deal.
But it's worth the gamble, especially
absolutely
what he's done in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, his playoff history is, there's no denying that he's had some pretty big moments in the postseason. The guy threw the last pitch of the baseball season.
Yeah.
There's not many people who can say they've been on the hill to do that. And he's one of them, and did it just last year. So I think it's a very low-risk, high-reward kind of move. We'll see if it pans out starting on Friday.
And he's got 6 pitches, right?
He's got a lot, and maybe that's not the best thing for him right
I know
now.
he's struggling with
what's wrong with 2 or 3 good ones.
Well,
right?
and he was
look at Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, I know.
And he was getting hit with it. I think the cutter was the one that was causing him the most problems.
But I say it can cause you, if you're not starting it in the right area, starting it there, and it's just, and then doing this damage, it's real hittable.
Yeah.
You know, it's real hittable. You got to be like, I mean, you look the best in the business, Mariano back in the day.
Sure.
He started, I mean, he was relentless where he started at. You didn't see too many of those things over the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, this is going to be a really interesting 3 weeks because there's a lot of things that can happen to then dictate what's going to happen in playoffs, right? I mean, Aaron Nola, big start tonight, right?
Sure.
See where he, the next 3 weeks, where does he fit, in the rotation for the playoffs? Taijuan Walker, what's his role going to be? Let's say Walker Buehler stands on his head for the next 3 starts.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, does then Walker Buehler get a sizable role in the playoffs in the rotation, right?
Right.
Who's going to the bullpen? Who's because in a short series.
Who's hot and who's not coming in at the end means a huge
Sure.
thing. Who's pitching well, man? Who's playing? That's a huge thing.
I think they are looking at it in a very open-minded way. If you're in the first round, let's say they secure the bye and they have a decent lead on the Dodgers for that. Maybe they won't hold on to it. I don't know. But if they get the bye and they don't start till the second round, you're going to go through that series, and you're really only going to need 3 starters.
It's best of 5, right?
Right. And with the off day and off days and travel and everything else, you'd really only need 3. So that begs the question, what do you do with them? Do you go 2 lefties and 1 righty? Is it Nola? Do you run Nola out there for 3 innings or 4 innings and then flip it around and run Luzardo out there for
kind of
3 or 4? I think they like the notion of Luzardo out of the bullpen because they feel like his stuff, they can match him up in a certain spot in the game. And he's so good against lefties. And he could come in and wipe out a couple of lefties to get you out of a spot and then stay on the hill for another couple of innings to get you deeper in a game. I don't know. I mean, I think, would they piggyback, a couple of the starters?
Has he done some of that before?
He has in his past, not recently.
Okay.
But he has been a reliever. In fact, he had.
That's a good thing.
He
pulled
has
from it. Yeah.
playoff relief experience back with Oakland when he was a kid. And so, I mean, he's done a little bit of that. Obviously, Ranger has as well. But I think they more view Ranger as a guy who you would, if he continues to pitch like this, you would just start and you'd let him go and you'd, play the game, manage the game as it unfolds, but you would start with Ranger. Luzardo, again, this is assuming you feel like Nola is still best served to be in your rotation.
Right.
And maybe they get to that point in the 1st of October and they don't feel that way.
Well, Luzardo's stuff plays out of the bullpen, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, big-time plays.
You get into those spots in the postseason, relievers are coming in, and you got to shut down an inning, and you might need a strikeout to do it. Well, he might be your best option to get a swing and a miss.
Right.
I don't know. I think they're trying to stay open-minded about the whole thing, and there's only, in my mind, there's 1 guarantee, 2 guarantees. Sanchez starts game 1, and Duran finishes any save situation.
Right. And
I like
everything else.
I like your guarantee there.
I think everything else is in the middle.
And the playoff roster is 26, correct?
It goes back to 26.
26, right.
Yeah.
So then you've got to, obviously you're going to carry you're not going to have, Marchand, I assume, would be the backup catcher.
I believe he will be.
Right. And then, you're probably going to have what you have, Weston Wilson, as of right now, would probably be your 5th outfielder. Unless you could, I guess you could bring it up, Johan, if you
could.
If you want more speed on the base pass.
You could. I mean, the Johan gives you 2 superlative skills, base running and defense in the outfield. I think after having watched Bader for the month that they've watched him out in center, they feel less of a need to do
the defensive end, yeah.
But you never know. Maybe there's a role in that regard.
And base running could be.
Well, the base running is a big one because, again, if you get into a spot where you need to, he has elite base running ability. And when you're in the postseason, you look at your bench because they have specific jobs they're going to do. specific situations where they're going to come in. And, Rafael Marchand, specifically a backup catcher, he's only going to play if JT gets hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Rojas would only play if you're talking about running for somebody, or if, let's say you start Kepler in right field, but he has to face a lefty in the 6th. You're not going to have him hit. Game's on the line. He's getting pinch hit for. Let's say you use Nick Castellanos for that role. Now you've got the lead, and the game's gets late in the game.
It's defense now, dude.
Now you got defense, and elite defense at that. So I don't think the door is closed on Rojas being on the roster once you get to October or at some point. But, I think right now, the short term, you're probably seeing Otto Kemp, but I don't know.
All right, let's go to break. But when we come back, Scott, we never talked about your career, so let's talk about.
Okay.
Let's go back in and talk about your career. You're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Come and enjoy one of your seasonal favorites from our new Summer of Shellfish menu, including our flavorful garlic and herb, roasted shrimp and lobster, tasty crabby tuna and poke tacos, or our incredible seafood boil featuring crab legs, scrumptious shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. And try one of our delicious seasonal cocktails with your meal. There's Summer of Shellfish only at Chickies and Pete's.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back at the Bull Session presented by BCWSA live from Chickies and Pete's, South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host, T. Greene. And we got Scott Franzke now. Scott, when I was just starting the Phillies in 1994, you were just starting with, which is no longer the Prime Sports Radio, which then became Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Right? You worked for the
I was long gone by the time it was Fox Sports Radio.
Long gone. But you were the Texas Rangers pre- and post-game show host, right?
Yeah.
Similar to what Murph is doing right now. And you honed your play-by-play skills working for the Kane County Cougars.
Yeah.
Right?
Where was that at? Where was that
That's
located?
outside Chicago.
Okay, gotcha.
Western suburbs of Chicago.
Gotcha.
Way out. Geneva, Illinois.
Gotcha.
It was to the east. It was all Chicago suburbs. To the west, it was all cornfields.
Okay.
It was cornfields and then Iowa.
Right.
But it was technically the Chicago area. My wife actually worked in downtown Chicago, so we sort of lived midway, and I would drive out to the suburbs, and she would take the train into the city.
So when you were working the Kane County Cougars, were you as eloquent as a host that I know that does a couple play-by-plays and says, put that baby to bed without a diaper, or call that ball an Uber because that ball got hammered?
I was learning my craft. I was probably employing a little different style than you.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, I was trying to be taken seriously.
Yes.
And maybe get a job moving up the ranks. But it was a really good spot. They were far enough outside of Chicago. They got a lot of fans. They had big crowds. They'd have 9, 10, 11,000 people there.
Now, what kind of
summers,
baseball
Saturdays. It was high A.
A high A ball? Okay.
When I was there, it was a Marlins affiliate.
Okay.
And it was in fact, Dave Dombrowski was the general manager of the Marlins at the time, and that was the first time I ever crossed paths with him. They had, in 1999, they brought the Marlins in for an exhibition game at the Cougars Stadium. And we had great players that came through there. I mean, they sent all their number one prospects through there.
Right.
Josh Beckett, Adrian Gonzalez, Miguel.
I was going to say, you saw a lot of good players.
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera. We had a four-man. My last year there, our four-man infield for a high A, they all made it to the big leagues, and 3 of them had legit careers, and 1 of them had a Hall of Fame career. Miguel Cabrera. He was our shortstop. Adrian Gonzalez had a huge career.
Yeah.
Josh Willingham was our third baseman.
He
ended up
nice
playing
career.
for a long
Yes,
time.
he did.
And a guy named Josh Wilson was our second baseman. He played 16 years in pro ball and was like a 4A. It was so fun following Josh throughout, because by then I had gotten to the big leagues, and we would go to Pittsburgh, and he would have been called up, from Indy, or we would go to Arizona, and he had been called up. He ended up getting a fair amount of big league time, but it was a lot of back and forth. He just sort of rode back and forth between AAA.
All right, so you come to Philadelphia in 2006. You took over when Tom McCarthy went to the hated Mets.
Right.
Right.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. Pre and post, but you were just like the Murph role. You were pre and post, right?
Yep.
And you also filled in when you could, and you got to work with Harry as well. So what was it like working with Harry the K?
Yeah, my first year, I was Harry's smoke break.
Right.
Harry would do the first 3 innings on TV. He would do an inning on radio in the 4th, and I would call the 5th and 6th. While Harry took a break, Harry would go back on TV 7th through the 9th. So we were almost never on the air together. I was around him all the time, obviously. He was great. I caught him at a time in his life when he was done being the character that Tommy, he had settled down, but he was so warm. He was so gracious. He was so welcoming to myself, to my wife, welcoming us to Philadelphia. He could not have been a better guy to work with and watch. I was so amazed at the amount of time he gave to fans. I knew Harry from NFL films more than anything.
I think most people outside Philadelphia knew him that way.
And hearing his voice, I do remember the first game I ever did in spring training. I was on the air with Harry. I was sitting alongside him. He was doing the play-by-play. I forget what inning or whatever, but I do know Ryan Howard hit a homer, and we were in Kissimmee.
Yeah.
And Howard hit a homer, and Harry went into the whole out-of-here call, and I just was like, oh, my gosh.
Right.
Goosebumps.
It was a goosebump moment and a moment to sort of pinch myself and be like, how did I get here?
Right.
But he was tremendous. He was, again, warm and gracious and funnier than I think a lot of people maybe know.
Speaking of funny, let's
He
talk
was
about
funny.
let's talk about your current host right now, because I know the first game that when Lehigh Valley became our affiliate, you guys played at the stadium in Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
And what happened with LA?
So LA, we were coming out of spring training. It was a Sunday morning drive up to Lehigh, and Larry was so bent. he was just not happy. And I think he was still working off his night before.
Right.
You know,
he does his best work after
his
2
night.
a.m.
Yes, he does.
His night at Downey's. But we drove up there, and we were getting to the bottom of the second inning, and he goes to turn his microphone off, and he turns the knob down, and he lets out this enormous belch.
Right.
The best.
And I'm in the middle of calling a pitch, 2-2 pitch to Victorino, and the belch comes out, and I turn and look at him, and I'm like,
and he thought he turned the volume down in his ear.
he
or
thought
he
he
did,
turned his headphone volume down. He thought he turned his microphone volume off.
Right.
He turned his headphones off.
Right.
So
you can't hear anyway.
He's the only person who didn't hear the belch.
Right.
Everyone else heard it plain as day. And when he saw my face,
Right. Then he realized.
his mistake. And his comment was, "Sorry about that, folks."
Well, I got to tell you, like a lot of people in the Delaware Valley grew up listening to Harry and Whitey, right? Harry and Whitey. And you guys, you could never think back then, 20 years ago, that there would be another Harry and Whitey. But you two really are this generation's Harry and Whitey, and that's not slight praise. That's a lot because those guys
that's
are
huge. Y'all guys
and
are good,
it's just
man.
the chemistry that you have with LA. You being the straight guy, and you guys knowing how to wind LA up with a
Yes, you
with a
do.
sly
Yes, I
grin,
do.
right? And LA takes the bait, and LA gets. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys are just a joy to listen to on the radio.
Are you the one that gets him going on the umpires every now and then?
Well, no, he
He's
can
pretty
wind
steady at that.
himself up on that, but yeah, I definitely have. There's a few buttons I can push,
right.
to get him going, and I've learned those over the years. He's been the number one joy of my professional career to be able to work with him. And we always say, as a play-by-play announcer especially, you can't choose where you work, and you don't get to choose who you work with.
Right.
You get a job, and you take that job because there are 30 of them.
Sure.
And so I landed here with a franchise that is great to work for, great people to work with. To get paired with Larry was, again,
A blessing,
just
yeah.
a huge, stroke of good luck for me. And it was great. I mean, we kind of connected right away.
Yep,
And,
you can tell right off.
We had fun together on the air and off. And, it's like I said, it's been maybe the great joy of my
All right, the last question
professional
is
career.
Bedlam at the Bank your favorite call? I know it's
I was gonna
Philadelphia
ask that,
fans'
too. What's your
favorite
call?
call, but was that your favorite call?
I don't know that I have a
you have one?
favorite. I'm not.
Or the one
it
that sticks
doesn't-
out to you.
It
Maybe
doesn't.
not your favorite.
It's that one. The one that people ask me or tell me most about is either that one or J. Roll's
Right.
walk-off double in 09. But for me, like, I think about things like Eric Bruntlit's unassisted triple play.
Yep.
Only because I got all three outs and I described them in the right order.
Right.
Because that you can practice a home run call,
But you can't
or
practice
you
that.
get practice
Right.
at calling home runs. There are a lot of home runs, so you can refine things and do things differently or whatever. But you kind of get one shot at something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you did it right.
did it.
Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up this week's Bull Session presented by BCWSA. I'd like to thank my co-host, Tommy Greene. Our guest today, Scott Franzke. Our on-site engineer, Chris Ermer. Back in the studio, Gus Barber. Thanks also to Pete, the great staff here at Chickies and Pete's, South Philadelphia, for hosting us today. We're going to be back next Monday at 6 p.m. at Chickies and Pete's on Roosevelt Boulevard. Former Phillies catcher Eric Kratz
Yes.
will be our
Kratzy.
guest. Have a great week, and as the late, great Harry the K says...
We're out of here.